And Brother from Inglewood podcast once again coming to you live and direct. It is an honor to be back in the studio with my bro. I'm Hoopie. This is Charley Mack, and we're looking forward to having a discussion of a great topic. I think you'll be really, really interested in it, and also you'll be able to give us some feedback through the comment section. And we're excited about hearing that. But before I introduce the topic, I'm going to throw it to Charley Mack and let him holler at you.
We back, guys. We in the building. We've been away for a while, but hey, we back. So that's the pilot. I'm the co-pilot. You guys are the passengers. So you guys get ready for this ride. We're going to go ahead and take you on it. But before we do, we don't own the rights to this music, you dig? But we're going to go ahead and groove to it. Ain't that right, Cam?
Yes, sir.
So without further ado, go ahead and put them seatbelts on tight. Get them strapped. Stay pushing.
Well said, bro. Yeah, the music is always fun. Just to be able to groove to it in the background.
No doubt.
You know, so many interesting things really came to me since we were last in the studio together. And when you introduce this topic, both of them are great. But this particular one, I think, should really hit home. I mean, I connected with it the minute you said it. I was like, ain't no need to research that one. No,
yeah, you did.
You don't need to go no
You're
further.
like, okay, yeah, let's
no
do that.
negotiation.
Right.
Let's do it.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah, because I mean, it's relevant. And to you that are viewing, we want you first of all to understand that we need your input. We need your feedback. We need you to like, share, and subscribe, or like, subscribe, and share this content even on your platform, because I think most people that are surfing the internet are always kind of looking for answers. You know, there's some things that we all experience that we can relate to. So before we introduce the topic, I want to say thanks to the Coalesce Group, thanks to Fruit Off the Vine, Clothing Apparel, for all that you are doing, allowing us to partner with you. Thank you so much for the educational component that you have, and the self-esteem, motivation, and all of those things that comes along with women's apparel. I know that the apparel is for girls, but women alike can really relate to the consciousness of self. And so, without further ado, I want to introduce the topic, which is, can people really handle the truth? Can people really handle the truth? Can you really handle the truth? And so, if you want to, give it a shot, I'll go behind you, or I can start it off. But it's a great topic, and it's relatable.
Yeah, I can go ahead and start it off.
Uh-huh.
It's incredible when, when we think about that, can people really handle the truth? Me personally, I would like to think that I can handle the truth, and I want someone to, if they're speaking the truth about me, I want to know.
Okay.
And I want to hear it, and I want to hear it, discern it, and say, you know what, yeah, you got a point, or you don't have a point.
Yeah.
Because I think to recognize the truth and you accepting someone really speaking on your character and on your personality and on your traits, I would like to think that everybody should be accepting of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been in situations where, people have, read me my rights or said, well, you're like this and you're like that. And one thing I can say, if I'm really hear something that someone's really saying, and I'll say, you know what? You're right. Yeah. And one thing about me, I don't have a problem with saying I'm sorry, or if I rubbed you the wrong way, or if there's something that I've done, can you accept? Because a lot of people, they don't want to.
Pride.
Not only will they not accept the truth, they can hear the truth and they can know that it's the truth, but they're gonna buck it at every level. And even when they know that you're talking directly to them, it's almost like when you have that pastor in the pulpit and he's giving his congregation a message, and out of all those people out there that's viewing, it's somebody in there that he's talking to.
Yeah.
And they and in their mind they're like, oh man, he's talking to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to be able to accept that, and you have to be able to recognize when you have your faults. It's like everybody, we all have shortcomings.
Of course.
And
Of course.
and you have to be able to accept the fact that you have shortcomings and move on forward. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why there's a lot of relationships that fail, whether they're friendships or marriages or relationships.
Yeah.
Because somebody in that party doesn't want to accept the fact that I got some issues, and this person is telling me about my issues, and I don't want to address my issues.
You know, you said a mouthful, because number one, I agree with you 101%. If one is not willing to do self-evaluation of self, and has always been, I would say, in the state of denial.
Yeah.
When and I'll use myself as an example. I've always struggled with responsibility, right? I got better, days upon days, months upon months, years upon years, but I wasn't always there. Right. And it wasn't like I was in denial when I heard this, either from Mom or you or Pony, or I don't think anyone else was really
right.
strong enough. Well, Malik.
Oh, did he?
Oh man.
Oh, did he? Really?
Oh yeah. So Malik, he would pull me on the carpet on it. Of course, some of my coaches.
Right.
But from day to day, a lot of people that probably knew me wasn't willing to say, hey, you should fix this, or this is where you're short at. But I could always accept that. I was never in denial of it. And even in my marriage relationship, when I was married, and if that came about, if I did something irresponsible, I was never the one in denial. I was never said, well, no, that's not me, or no, because I always knew most of my weaknesses. We rely on our strengths, but I used to identify with my weaknesses. So when I heard the truth about myself, I was always willing to say, okay, that's me.
Yeah.
And what wasn't me, I was, I didn't argue it, but it was like, okay, well, I don't have to receive that because that's not me.
Right.
And I think a lot of times people are looking for justifications. Well, he did it to me first, or she did it to me, but it shouldn't be about anyone else. It should be about us wanting to get better.
Right.
I think your entire topic about are we able to handle the truth? I think it's personal, and I think it's about a level of maturity.
Yes.
Are you mature enough to say, yeah, I'm short in this area. I'd like to get better? Because I've heard people say to me before, like, I just can't accept that from them. Well, the truth is the truth, regardless
no
to who it comes from.
Who it comes from, right.
So a lot of people use justifications because really they're in denial.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people that I've met, I can't say, what percentage it is, but man, a lot of people are just not willing to accept the truth because that requires accountability.
I already know.
What are you going to do now? Now that you know that this is the truth,
what are you going to do?
Or I've confirmed that it was truth, what you going to do?
Hey, listen.
And a lot of people don't want to do that.
I've had many relationships fail because the other person don't want to be accountable for who they are. And there's sometimes people can say, it's the way that you said it, or the way that, there's a lot of
your
people,
delivery,
and
your tone.
And I'll be the first to admit, I mean, I can be a little brash, and I can be a little direct when it comes down to letting someone know about themselves. Because, I mean, I feel like we're all adults. You're not this 6-year-old kid where you have to really, really give it to them, whatever. So,
and it's not your first time saying it.
Right. I mean, we're adults, and I'm going to lay the heavy stuff on you because you need the heavy stuff laid on you.
Yeah.
And there's people, like how you were saying, when the truth is, thrusted upon them, and it makes, like you said, it makes people back up and say, dang, this dude is telling the truth about me, or she's telling the truth, or my mom, or whomever. And there's a lot of people, they just don't want to accept who they are, because now they have to take a look at themselves and, like you said, say, well, how do I address this? And then there's a lot of people who, let me let you guys know something. There's a lot of people that try to run from who they are, and they're like, oh, I'm going to move out of state. Well, guess what? When you look in the mirror, that person's still there.
Yeah.
So you can't run from yourself.
I got you.
You can run, but you can't run from who you are.
Yeah.
And then we kind of discussed the topic a while back about, can people change who they are, or people whatever, and I'm telling you, people cannot handle the truth. I've had many relationships that were fantastic relationships. These people were good people. Otherwise I wouldn't have been involved with them for as long as I had been. But in certain cases, people just didn't want to. They didn't want to acknowledge who they were. And then there's a lot of people that carry lifelong baggage, things that may have happened to them when they were in their youth, or whatever, and they carry themselves through life, and they think because they went and got a degree, or they may have a successful job, and they may have a big home, and everything is going good, they may think they're okay.
And they might even be in a marriage, but they're hiding.
They may think they're okay,
yeah.
But at the end of the day, they've never went back and addressed that childhood trauma that we talked about. That you brought this childhood trauma into
your present,
an adolescence, and into an adult. You have to go back and you have to go back and talk to someone. Get you a good therapist. Get you a good somebody to lean on, and lean on them as long as you have to, and get that off your chest, and see how you can fix it, or how it relates to why your relationship with people is not working.
Man, you said a whole lot, because it puts me in the position of making a choice. Okay, this has to be bigger than me. If I'm not acceptive of the truth, or receptive of the truth, then that means I got an issue. And I need to jump this issue, or jump this hurdle, by going back to probably where it first began. Right? Because some things that appear on the outer surface is really a reflection of what's really happening within. The core. And so we create dysfunctional relationships, and we create a pattern to where you have the same trouble all the time with a different person, because you never changed the core. You never addressed that core issue. And I think also communication plays a big part in that, because if you're not communicating, especially to your spouse and to your significant other, then how in the world will they know how to engage you? So the key thing that you're mentioning is the failure to accept it as truth, because some of us have our own version of the truth, man.
Really.
It's not like it's not like they're willing to say, okay, I get that, because their version is totally. It's almost like you guys are in different worlds.
They're on Mars, you're on Venus.
Right.
And you're right. And it's so funny, because people, it's so hard to really take a look at yourself and say, man, I got some problems. And
I got some work to do.
Right. And the thing about it is, I know, for example, I know people who've been with, in relationship after relationship after relationship and then you have to say to yourself, the people who keep jumping from, women to women or man to man, they have to look at themselves and say, well, damn, why is it that I can't hold on to this guy or this girl or this marriage or whatever? You got people that have been married 6-7 times. Well, guess what? Take a look at yourself and say, why have I been married 6 or 7 times? If you meet a woman or a man that's been married 5-6 times, you have to take a look at them and say, do I really want to deal with this person? Because obviously, this man can't blame it all on the woman if he's been married 6 times. This woman can't blame it all on the man if she's been married 5 or 6 times. you have to take a look in yourself in the mirror and say,
Yeah.
I need to fix whatever this is that I made. I need to try to fix it.
Exactly. And then, are we asking the right questions? Are when we see something, are we willing to sit down and table that? See, a lot of us we've just smeared it over and just we say, oh, it'll get better.
You sweep it under the rug.
Right. I didn't want to say nothing then. You know, I thought it was gonna get better, and then that thing turned. It's like a snowball. It just gets bigger and bigger, and now it's out of control. And then you bring up the when you first detected it, and then it's like, well, why you didn't say nothing then, and this and that. So I think honesty, of course, integrity, like you were saying, character, integrity, and accountability helps with accepting our shortcomings. And I think a lot of people need to know and understand that we all have them. We have shortcomings. None of us are perfect. We're imperfect people. We're human beings.
All of us.
All of us trying to work it out. I don't care if you're a pastor, a bishop, an apostle. I don't care if you're a politician. I don't care if you're rich and famous. We all have to go to the John. We have to relieve ourselves. We got to brush our teeth. So there are some things we cannot just put on a pedestal as if it doesn't happen. But for some reason, man, relationships, whether it's a friendship or whether it's a romantic relationship, they're not based on the substance we grew up on.
Right.
And I know this is a different era. I hate to sound old fogey, but it just seems like the foundation in which we knew and was established upon, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like Ronald Gaines was telling me the other day.
Wait,
Ronald was saying, he was like, and he made an important point. He said, listen, man, first of all, that was 40 and 50 years ago. The people right now, man, they don't even think the same.
Yeah.
And he was right. Because I was talking about the dating process and how dating and how marriages are now as opposed to what we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, man, this apples and oranges.
He's right. And Ronald, he one of them dudes where, he ain't gonna say a whole lot.
Right.
Because he's a quiet dude.
Yeah.
And people kind of,
misrepresent him. He's
Ronald,
a wise man.
But he really is.
He is a wise.
He's smarter than what people think.
Oh, he's way smarter than what
because
people think.
he don't say a whole lot, and then he got that southern drawl, and people thinking he crazy, but he's really not. Dude, the dude got a lot of knowledge of what he know. He don't really come out and say it a lot because Ronald, he got a lot of shyness to him.
Yeah, he a shy guy.
But the dude knows what he be talking about.
Oh yeah.
He listens.
Yeah. Another thing about what I love about him is this: he gonna call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
He gonna tell you the natural naked truth.
Yeah.
And but like he was saying to me, and as you forestated, it's all about identification. Can you identify with why you're not accepting the truth?
Yeah.
Why you can't handle the truth? Do you want to change? Speak to that.
You know what? I gotta speak to that because I was in a relationship with someone who is, they good people, but I don't know what it was about them for them, they knew that they had a lot of issues and a lot of shortcomings, and we talked about it, but for some reason, and this is only in her position because everybody's different. And she never even vocalized it, but because I know her so well, I knew what it was. For her to come to the table and bring all her baggage and say, this is who I am, I'm sorry, I know I got a problem with this, I know I got a problem with that. To her, that was a sign of weakness.
Was it?
It was a sign of weakness. And for her, she always wanted to appear strong. And she never wanted to see her in her vulnerable state.
So is that a characteristic of pride?
I think I think it's I'm not a doctor, So I don't know.
No, I'm not, I'm just thinking.
But you're right. That has some pride to it, but it also has some sort of fear of whatever the case may be. I don't know what happened. Early on, where she was traumatized, and she probably told herself, "I'll never be weak again."
Okay.
Right?
I got you. And that goes back to what you were saying earlier about early onset of something that trickled into, the maturation process ended up in your adulthood because it was never finished.
Listen, this woman probably will never be able to be in a fulfilling relationship with someone until she really recognized that she got an issue.
Okay. Well, okay.
That she has an issue, and
Can
she
therapy
knows it.
help that?
I think,
but you got to be willing.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But it goes back to what we're saying. You have to be willing to be able to take the truth.
Yeah.
Can I really handle someone telling me about myself, and I know these things about myself, but can I really handle it? One thing you spoke on before, I'm going to say this one thing, I'm going to give you the mic. Mm-hmm. One thing you had spoke on about the whole responsibility thing, I've watched you grow.
Yeah.
In terms of your responsibility at this point up until where it is now.
Yeah.
So you have gotten better in terms of taking care of your business and being more responsible.
Yeah.
I've watched you grow.
Yeah.
Mom has probably watched you grow.
Yeah.
The people that's close to you that really know Cameron has probably watched you grow.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to say, I got an issue, I got a problem, and I got to try to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. See, I was willing to. And then I heard it. And see, thank God you guys never gave up on me.
Mm-mm.
See, because you guys could have easily stopped 20 years ago and said, man, this dude is grown, whatever, long as... Look, I ain't going to tie myself to it because I'm a sink with the ship. But you guys never did that. You were never critical. In other words, you were critical enough because it helped me. You guys were never demonstrative to where you were destroying my confidence and my courage. You guys were always just giving me raw truth.
Because we knew...
Sometimes it was humorous, but it was like, I got to give it to him on this level, and it worked.
But we knew that your intentions were good. We knew that it was never malicious. It was never out of ignorance. It was never out of... We knew that the intent was to do the right thing, but somewhere along that intent, it just kind of went left. But we knew...
Poor decision.
We knew that the intent was good.
Yeah.
Like, I even tell people, and I'm like, man, Cam's a good dude. His intentions is always good. They're never malicious. He's a man like everybody. Another thing I wanted to say, too, man, you got a tough... Let me tell you something, dude. You got a tough position being a pastor and being a single pastor.
Yeah.
You got a lot on your plate in terms of like, I gotta walk this line. I have to be accountable. I have to make sure that people see me in a positive light, and I can't do some of the things that some of these guys who's not pastors do. Although I'm a man and I fall short, but don't judge me.
Right.
Because I'm a pastor in work.
Yeah, I'm a
lot of them are.
Yeah, I'm
especially the single ones. They're people that we all have our shortcomings. So don't judge. And I think people tend to judge people and put them on pedestals because of their position. But you also have to say, well, no. He or she has a position, but they're also human. So don't judge me on my faults and my mistakes. And sometimes I lose my way and be a man or be a woman. You can't judge me on that because my intentions are good.
Right. No, I get it, and I appreciate that because, I was just talking to Malik and Turner. And I said it's just very, very odd that you don't have a lot of people that you can open up to and be yourself and just, be vulnerable, in other words, and just share from your heart. And like I told him, I said, my brothers and I have always been close. We shared everything. We've had all our experiences together. And I said, so a lot of times you don't go outside of the barn trying to find somebody to hear you when you got somebody that you can bounce things off of, and that's going to tell you the truth. They're not going to just sugarcoat it, because like one time, man, Pony, he wrote, I talked to him on the phone. This is about 6 years ago. Man, that dude hit me with some heavy stuff. It was so heavy, man. It was like revelation.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know if he knew what vein he was really flowing in, but man, that was a critical point
In your life?
of decision. He helped me make a major decision that I needed to make, but didn't really know how to make it.
Okay.
But when I heard it from him, in other words, what he was saying was, he was like, listen, man.
He validated it.
Yeah. Find your purpose, but also do something different than what you. In other words, he was really telling me, obviously, bro, if you're landing in the same position, something you're not doing right, or maybe you're doing the same thing that's not working right. This is how I really
you took it?
Yeah, I broke it down. And when he told me that, man, it seemed like days upon days, that thing just started
Going another way?
just materializing and just really, really hitting home. Because really, I found the courage to say, you know what? This is what I'm going to go after. And then shortly after that, the documentary came out, Morningside 5.
Okay.
And he called around that time because he had told some people he saw it.
Oh, okay.
That they was watching it, in the pen. And he told me, he said, man, that's what I'm talking about. I get it now. This is what you were meant to do. This is, like we saw it in your youth, but now I see with my own eyes
Right.
what this purpose is.
Right.
And so he was just saying that, I see why you held on to certain things, because that's really like the next subject we were talking about, predestination.
Yeah. and it's so funny because we can even talk about, since we're talking about the topic of can people really handle the truth. It's funny, dude, because I really think about your friend Brad a lot. I think about him a lot.
Yeah.
And
I saw your post the other day, which brought back that conversation.
I think about him a lot. And it's so sad that, and it's just what we're talking about, when people have the truth thrown at them and they don't want to see it, it causes for relationships to crumble.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have great relationships with friends or lovers or wives or whatever, and because people don't want to see themselves for who they are, and to see yourself for your faults doesn't mean you're a bad person.
And don't mean you weak.
But you have to be able to say, what part do I play in the demise of any relationship? Did I play a part in it? Or do I want to try to shift the blame all on one person or not? It's always somebody may have a bigger part in it, but everybody has some part in it.
Yeah.
So for you to lose that relationship with Brad, man,
Yeah.
over him not being able to see the truth or who he is, it's pretty sad, dude.
It was hard because, like you said, I thought we were closer than that. I thought we were really friends. I thought that we were really making progress to where, people on the outside could see that interracial friendships
can be solid, just like two blacks or two whites or two Asians or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And I saw him make sacrifices even for me. They were big to me.
Really?
They may not be big to other people,
but for you,
but
they
to
were big.
be there for someone,
Right.
and you knew that they had a need, or even randomly, not even knowing what my need was, but being there, extending it. And when that happened, just from a choice, freedom of choice, like I didn't want to support, a certain politician versus you wanting to support. That floored me.
Yeah.
But, I soon began to search myself and say, well, okay, did I go at this thing the wrong way? So I started to look within myself before I even made judgment or a call on my decision to be friends any further. I started looking at myself. I was like, okay, well, did I go wrong with this? And I realized that no, this individual was, trying to convince me to go the way that he believed. you know, and then critiqued my
right.
background, my culture, my ethnicity, my race,
Because you're
like he knew it more than mine.
Right,
you know,
right.
I was like, wow.
Right.
You know.
That's sad, man. That really is, and that's probably why I put that post on Facebook of my boy, because it's kind of the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
See, and
Was he at your wedding?
Yeah.
I do remember him at your wedding.
We went to school together.
Okay.
I was always the only black guy in all my acting schools. But
Okay.
this is the trip that when people have that truth confronted at them, sometimes, man, they just, you know, they can't handle it, dude. You know, and for me, and I'm gonna tell anybody out there that's viewing who may not be black, and it's okay that you're viewing if you're not, but we want to let you guys know something. For the most of us who didn't support Donald Trump, when we see some other that's supporting this dude, we look at you just like him.
Yeah.
We feel like if you're going to agree with this guy's policy and the way that he treats, you know, minorities, and this guy's a chauvinist, this guy's a pig, this guy's he's a liar, you know, he's a thief, he's everything that you can even imagine. So when we see someone, especially if he's our friend, someone white or Latina or Asian or whatever, say, hey, I'm let me put my Trump 2020 shirt on and let me smile ear to ear for 10 million people to see, we look at you like, well, you just as racist as him. Yeah. And that's why I had to end my friendship with Sean. Because I'm thinking like, dude, he didn't grow up that way. He didn't. Yeah. Now, I understand if you grew up Republican and privileged and conservative and wealthy, I get it. Yeah. I know how you think. We know how you think already. Yeah. But when you grew up as someone Latina or white or whatever, and you grew up like a black person, kind of having a struggle, then I'm not saying that you should be a Republican or either. Yeah, yeah. But what I am saying is you need to recognize someone's personality and someone's character when you see it. Yeah. And if you know this guy was demeaning to Latinas and blacks in particularly, you should say, man, I can't support this guy and still have a black friend or whatever, and I'm proud of this dude. Right. I can understand if he would have been like, okay, yeah, I'll vote, but I kind of liked his policy on this, that, and the other. He may not be a great person. I get it. But when you smiling ear to ear, cheesing with the t-shirt on with your wife, dude, that's telling me you love this dude.
Yeah, I agree, because yeah, we all have freedom of choice, you know, and I didn't have a problem with anybody's selection.
Right, me either.
But don't try to condemn me
for yours.
Mine. Yeah, and that's why I felt it was like unfair, and it was deeper.
It was deeper than just the whole.
It was deeper than just the you know, different selection of politicians.
Wow.
And that made me look at a lot closer. And I said, wow, what is this? And then there was a couple of allies that were established that he got in the middle of and just dissolved.
Ruined it. Wow.
I said, wow. I said, so because you took a position, I took a position. So now you're going to make other people take your position, which to me, that's malicious.
It is.
That's cruel intent.
It is.
And I said, okay, well, no problem. I know where we are now. We're not going to be, you know, friends per se. So,
wow.
But yeah, I mean, it goes back to denial. People who really can't handle the truth are people who are either in denial or they're not willing to grow. Because some people, man, they don't want to see their shortcomings. They don't want anybody to talk about it, because now it's who are you? How could you say that? You know, who are you? You know, so to me, those are defensive mechanisms.
Yeah, and I think it's different for everyone in terms of the truth, because I can't say because this one person felt like if they expose themselves or accept these truths about themselves that it makes them feel like they're weak. That's their thing. So their thing may be different than the next person. So the next person's fear may be something totally different. Or if I expose myself to these truths and I accept what this person's telling me, it may make them feel another kind of way. So everybody's different. But at the end of the day, we all should be able to accept and take a look at ourselves and say, okay, can I really sit down here and listen to someone say, okay, this is kind of who you are and what I gathered from you, from what I know of you. Can you really accept that? Because, you know, we even have, we got, you know, we got some close people that's, I mean, there's a lot of people, man, they just, listen, I'll tell anybody, I want the truth.
Yeah, I do.
Give it to me raw.
I do too.
That way, I want to be able to say, because if you lying on me, or if you think that's your truth, I'm gonna say, well, nah, that's a little different. I mean, I accept this, that, and the other. But what you're saying, maybe you want to word it a little differently or whatever. But I'll be the first to admit, like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Because I remember somebody told me the other day, man, you know, one thing about you, man, it's either black or white with you.
Yeah.
And I said,
I think we're just that way. I'm that way too.
I said, you're right.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, that's who I am. Or if someone says, you know, oh man, you know, you could be a little, you know, impatient, or sometimes you say things a little, I'll be like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
I ain't got no problem with accepting the fact that, you know, I know where my shortcomings are.
You want to get better.
Yeah.
So you want to improve.
And sometimes I say, okay, yeah, I see myself being a little impatient or being, because even you tell me, like, Mac, you and Mom's is impatient. And I'll be like, yeah, you're right. I am a little impatient when it comes to that. But I don't have a problem.
Certain things.
I'm not going to get an attitude if someone points out one of my shortcomings. I'm not going to get mad at them and be like, man, I ain't no damn.
That's maturity.
I'm going to accept it.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
because you want to get better. And I think some people take constructive criticism as criticism. Yeah, it is criticism, but it's constructive because it should help you. And I'm here to encourage you. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to encourage you because you're my friend.
Exactly.
And you're my relative.
Exactly.
And you're my family. In other words, I care about you, so that's why I'm speaking on this. If I didn't care about you, I'd be like the rest of them.
Exactly.
That's just letting you walk around here looking like a fool.
Exactly.
And not saying that.
Exactly. I care enough about you to say, hey, man, let me pull your coat.
Right.
And I got to say this and say that. Because I always tell people, say, look, man, I'm only going to tell you this because I love you. I'm gonna keep it real. Right. Either you take it for what it's worth, or you know, or whatever. But I'm gonna tell you that this is, you know, what the deal is.
This is foul. Now, my last question to you is this, because you said it earlier in the conversation, and I agree totally. Most of these situations with people who are not willing to accept the truth. Can these situations be corrected, and how do we correct those individual, you know, those problems that some individuals have?
I think they can be corrected. I think if people 100% accept who they are and listen before they start, no, let me finish first. I think if people listen closely and listen to what the person is saying, especially if this is a person that's close to you and this person loves you and they care for you, listen. Yeah. Because obviously if this person's telling you this, then that's how they feel. So I think people can fix it, but they have to be willing to accept it and willing to say, well, what can I do to make myself better? Do I need to go get some therapy, or do I need to talk to someone? And I think sometimes it also helps to hear it from more than one person. Because like you said, the people that's in your close circle, they're not going to say nothing. Because they're probably benefiting in some kind of way. That's why the president was so jacked up when he was president. Because all the people he had around him, he was the puppeteer, and they were the puppets.
It wasn't saying that.
And they're not going to say nothing because they got these cushy positions. So they're not going to help him become better because they know they're going to get fired. So I think if people police their friends and said to their family members, like, look, you know, this is what you do. But you have to be willing to accept that, like you said, constructive criticism.
It's constructive.
It's not negative. It's constructive criticism. And we all should be able to accept it. So, yeah, I think people can fix it if they're willing to want the help.
Okay. You guys heard it. I mean, if you object, put it in the comments. We're working on some technology to where we're going to be able to engage and allow questions to come along the screen, and you will be able to engage with us, you know, in a short period of time. I mean, we're doing the research on it. We have the software, and so it's just about us learning how to use it. But we want to engage with you guys, and I just want to say thanks again for tuning in and following. If you just like, subscribe, and share this content, I really believe we can get it out into the airwaves, and we can start really, saturating, this platform with some very, very interesting and relatable topics. I got some stuff that I wanted to start discussing in the way of, really women and men and relationships and how that mentality is, man. Just so many different things that I want to, start discussing to engage you guys. So I just want to say thanks again. We appreciate you. I'm gonna throw it to Charlie Mack and let him, close us out.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If there's something that you guys want to talk about, come on the show. We don't have no problem. Come on down and get it off your chest. That's what we do here. Get it off your chest.
If you bad,
if you hey, look, want some, get some. Bad enough to take some. Y'all know it. In our age, you know what I'm talking about. So we signing out, guys. That's the pilot. I'm the co-pilot. Plane done landed. Take the seatbelts off. Peace and love.
Peace.